excited to talk to you about. I've been chirping you about this all week. The Bills, led by Josh Allen, favorite for MVP. Josh Allen, last week I said, is great. He's going to have a good week, but there's no way he does any better than last season. If anything, he's going to regress because last season was amazing, but I don't see him doing that again, and it's exactly what happened. He looked awful, terrible. And the Steelers didn't even look that great to me. That game was a complete, just both teams were awful.
That game
Going
was
forward,
hard to watch.
I'm hoping people don't look at that score and say, oh, the Steelers went 11-0 last season, let's start trusting them, because I don't think that's true. I think the Bills are still going to win that division, but it's going to be at 11 or 12, maybe even 10 wins. They looked awful. And Josh Allen's still good. I trust him going forward. I think he's going to do better going forward, but he's not going to be as good as last year, or he's not going to be better at least. And to be MVP, he has to be better than last year. It was insane last year. He would have won it, but he's not going to win it this year.
I'm not giving up all hope on Josh Allen yet. And I think
Winning MVP?
Not quite yet. Here's my thing. He's no longer my favorite.
And the going back on predictions has started.
He is no longer my favorite.
I predicted it would happen in week 10. It's already started. I'm very excited about that.
Here's what I have to say.
Okay.
Hear me out. He had 270 for a touchdown, which, not a great game by any means, but you're acting like that's the worst game you've ever seen.
Brandon, they scored 16 points.
You're treating it like a horrible game.
It was a horrible game. Did you watch? Like, you would look at the stats. Were you watching the game?
Of course I was watching the game. What I'm saying is 270 with one TD against that Steelers defense. Is
30 for 51.
You're right, that's the worst game of all time. You really are.
He went 30 for 51, and if you watch...
I'm not arguing he had a great game. I'm arguing that you're underrating his performance by saying, like, he shouldn't even be in, like, a conversation of anything.
That's not what I said. I started the conversation
Your
by
recency
saying...
bias is going off the
That's
charts.
false. I started by saying that Josh Allen is still an elite quarterback, and he's still very good. I just thought that he was going to have a worse season than last year, and you picked him to win MVP. Don't try to deflect this on me. You just said he's not going to be in the MVP conversation.
I never said that. I said he might not be my favorite as of right now, but that's subject to change. In the sense that I think he's going to bounce back. But I think you're slightly underrating the fact you're acting like he threw for, let's say...
I just want to say, I'm not acting like he played awful. I just want to say that I think my opinion is consistent to what I said last week, and what I said last week seems to be right, and I think it's going to continue, and that is that he's good, he's very good, and honestly I thought he played better than he did, but he's not at the Mahomes level, he's not going to win MVP. And I think going forward he's going to have better performance than this, but it's all going to just help back my opinion, so he's not the MVP guy, he's elite, but he's going to take a step back from last year, because last year's as good as it gets. He could be equal to there, but I don't think that's going to be this year. This year, he's not going to have as good of a season as last year. That was my only point.
I'm trusting the process with him. Absolutely. I don't think I have any choice, though.
Is he going to be better than last year?
It's hard to tell, because last year he was so good, but there were two other quarterbacks that were just barely better. That's my thought, right? I think in a normal year...
Two?
Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes was not better in the regular season.
They were neck and neck.
Then why Josh Allen finished 2 in MVP voting?
They were neck and neck. Here's the thing, though. What I have to say is... In a normal year, that's like an off year for quarterbacks, Josh Allen would have won the MVP with the stats he had last year.
Yeah, my point is he's not going to have that year again. Do you think he's going to have that year again? No, you don't. You don't. And this week backed that opinion. Period.